Hi, this is Koen, and I just want to clear some things up. I was just at a training on Saturday and got some information that I thought was very interesting. And I was doing a workshop on black people are racist too. And overwhelmingly, when I do these workshops, it's very interesting to me the people who typically show up, and then the people who don't show up. And in this particular case, I was at a school that I do some lecturing on every so often, and who decided to show up were white people who were interested in the topic, and apparently the black students at the school were somewhat irate about how and what I was talking about in terms of black people being racist too. And the thing that I thought was very interesting was apparently they had discussions about what that meant. They also had discussed it and voted among themselves that I probably am somewhat of a Judas or an Uncle Tom in using other people's pain for my benefit. And the thing that really struck me was that none of those individuals were able to sit and talk with me and try to get my perspective. So all the things that I was accused of doing and being could never be addressed because my so-called accusers were not able to sit down and have conversations with me about what they thought my point of view was. And so I find it very intriguing and interesting that thing occurred. And so one of the things I would encourage people to do is to really sit down and have conversations with individuals to kind of see what their point of view is before you make judgments about what you think their point of view is. And specifically when I refer to black people being racist too, I want to just share part of the framework from which I operate. So I was raised early in my career by my mentors who did a wonderful job of supplying me with the great tools that they had at the time and what the time needed or what we needed to do in the face of diversity at that particular time. And they taught me that prejudice, racial prejudice plus power equals racism, and therefore using that model, black people cannot be racist. And so I taught that. I was a great student of that school, and I believed that. And I took many of those things to heart as to how I interacted with other folks. But as I matured and as times have changed, the way I think about that also changes. And so, one of the things that I know is that we operate in a very racist system that was set up not by anyone who is currently living, not by people who are currently even in power, but for it was set up a very long time ago, and parts of it are maintained by people who believe in their group's racial superiority and all that kind of stuff, and all that's well and good, and it's pretty academic as far as I'm concerned. But when I think about our racist system, we all dwell in that racist system, and so if we were to use racism as a if the metaphor we were to use is that racism is a body of water, if I am a white man and I go into that body of water and I come out, you would say that I am wet. If I'm a person of color and I go into that body of water, if I came out of that body of water, you would say I was wet. And so when using that as a premise, I think that it is important to realize that we all play a role, no matter if we have power over large systems or small systems. We all are interacting in a racist system. And so our participation, or the system, relies on our participation in that system, either in silence or as an advocate, in collusion with the system for it to maintain itself. And so I would love to hear from folks who who have come to the realization that I have that, black people too can participate actively and have participated actively in the system of oppression. And when we look at the system of oppression and we look at the root of it, typically the root is pain. And people are expressing their pain. And they hurt others because of their own pain. And so whether you have a headache or you've pricked your finger, there's no tool that I can use to measure the amount of pain that individuals have. And so when we think about racism, or we think about sexism, or we think about heterosexism, or we think about the limited access that people with disabilities have to resources and jobs and money and all of that stuff. A lot of that is inflicted by people who are also hurting people. And so I think the larger question should be not whether or not black people are racist or can be racist or have built or maintained a racist system. However, I think we should talk about the pain that is inflicted. How do we relieve that pain? And how do we start moving to healing the hurts caused by racist and sexist and heterosexist systems? So those are some things that I've been thinking about. And so if you have any comments, please feel free to give me a buzz and we can talk about it. My name is Andre Koen, and you can reach me at andrekoen.com, AndreKoen.com. And I look forward to hearing from you.